Well, as the title slide says, these are some more of Will Coxey's photos, part 2 of 3. And as Dave mentioned, in August, we'll do the third part of the South Jersey photos. We'll start with photos of PATCO and 2 steam excursions, and then we'll launch into the remainder of the South Jersey photos in chronological order. You can see the whatever info I did have at the bottom of the screen there. This is the Westmont station under construction. Haddonfield. Coming and going. Out at Lindenwold, the shop area. There's the shop on the right there. Some interesting views, the vantage point of which you can't get to today, at least not legally. Back to Haddonfield and the trench. Is looking west or north, depending on how you calculate it. The Lindenwold station under construction. Tunnel entrance at Camden. Ferry Avenue. I don't know who that is.
That's John Cook, George's brother.
Ah, okay, thank you. Collingswood. Looking the other way.
That's from Collings Avenue looking towards Westmont.
Yes. Bob Vogel's stomping ground.
And the water tower's still there.
I'm not sure how Will got some of these shots, but we're glad he did. There's a couple of bridge cars coming in. Back to Lindenwold.
Hey, Fred, just curious, back a picture or two. Any idea what that little cubby hole?
Which one? Did I go back far enough?
The lower left corner there.
Oh. I don't know.
Just kind of interesting, that's all.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's an access opening, but what for, I don't know. This was a test train before the opening, the official opening. What do you have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 RDCs. I did have occasion a couple times to ride over that section, and it was really rough when they were on the Conrail track.
Yeah, at that time on the Conrail side there was no service at all, either freight or passenger from Lindenwold to Jersey Tower.
Good point, because they certainly would not have shared the track, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Finally finished, and all the track is in place here, and they're off Conrail. This is about the time when Amtrak started rebuilding the line out to Atlantic City. Finally finished the station.
Is that Ashland?
Yes,
Okay, I didn't see the caption. Now I see it.
back out to Lindenwold. The short-lived Amtrak service. I don't think it lasted too much beyond 92, did it? Does anybody know?
I think 1994.
It lasted to 94. Thank you. Notice that I'm not sure exactly where he was standing in Haddonfield, but there's a PATCO train in either direction and the Amtrak train.
This trip was a high iron trip from Elizabethport to Bridgeton and return.
Yes, I was on this trip.
Me too.
Oh, son of a gun. Chatsworth. This is a deadhead move. I guess it was, yeah, it was a couple days before the actual trip.
I was on that one too.
Me too.
And you never ran into each other?
Well, we didn't know each other at that time, I guess.
Steamtown 127 was Canadian Pacific 1278, and right now that engine is in the ownership of the Age of Steam Roundhouse in Sugar Creek, Ohio.
That is correct. Thank you. See the old Jersey Central station on the left there. And the water tower was still fairly upright.
That station was the original Atlantic City Railroad station, and when they elevated the railroads back around 1906, somewhere in that area, the station was moved and turned at 90 degrees to face the Jersey Central.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
And this is that was the trip heading back north, the Deadhead trip heading back north after the Cape May excursion.
Yes, thank you.
Another worthless piece of information, if you see that engine with that banner on the side of the tender, originally that said Steamtown USA as well, and there was one on both sides, and on the Deadhead trip down, one of them blew away, and Russ Rowland had the other one removed and had a sign paper come in and paint Steamtown USA on the tender, which looked much more railroady than that banner that was on there.
This was the day my camera failed and only every third or fourth picture would the shutter work. It was a little tricky. Rolling up the Tuckahoe. Obviously, this was on the way back late in the day. And this was when they were returning the coaches to Philly from the May 5th trip. We slip way back to 1954.
Hey, Fred, on that previous picture, one engine said Pensy, the other said Reading. Where the heck? Oh, Cold Spring Harbor. Okay. I was curious why they were both there.
Confuse you for a minute, huh?
Is the public service building in the background? And
I think that's still there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Is that a substation or?
Uh, I think public service stationed some crews there.
Ah,
Yeah, I think originally that was a substation for the trolley line, wasn't it?
That's correct.
yeah, that was really my question. Thank you. The local freight, Cooper's Point, to Haddonfield. Broadway and Camden. Same location. Atlantic City.
Apparently, they ran those steamers pretty late because what'd that say, 57 or 58 in some of those pictures?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 57 was pretty much the end of it. Couple hopper cars. Coal hoppers at the station. Atlantic Tower. I think the sun is coming loose. A little bit askew there. Now, this was the last active Pensy steamer, November 58, this picture was taken. Actually, well, that's when it was processed. It looks more like July or August. Penn Street in Ocean City.
I think that's Bob Long and Rich McGee.
Oh, I guess it could be. I'm not sure though, but it could be.
I won't swear positively, but it looks like them.
Woodbury again. Roundhouse at Atlantic City. Woodbury again.
that the one where it's a restaurant now?
Yes. Cape May. Merchantville. That's not Will Coxey. I asked him who that was. He said it was a friend of his.
Yeah, I think at that time, Bill was in the Coast Guard stationed at Cape May.
Yes. Livonia.
So was this was that a copy of one of Will's slides by Tom Jorgensen?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, it's one of the quote unquote missing photos. This is Whiting looking up the Jersey Central. Lakewood. All the piles of stone and sand. Oh, there's our intrepid photographer. This is another one from Jorgensen's collection. From Brown Tower. Couple of writing engines on the right there.
I take it that's New York ship in the background?
Yes, probably, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that proves it, Cadillac dog food.
You can't miss that water tower. Oops, this guy's on the ground. Seabrook Farms down near
Not
Selm.
uncommon on the CNJ in those days.
Can't win them all. Bridgeton. There's the wrecker. Oops. Down near the sand pits at Newport. Well, this station building is gone. Is a small mini mall with about a half a dozen stores at this location now. And they just recently tore down this facility here on the right.
There's my father.
Really? Oh my God. Salem Yard. Couple colorful tank cars there. Broadway. With all the tracks removed. Another view looking back.
And all the bridges over the highways were removed too.
Yes. Pittman. Back to Bolson Street. There's that Cadillac water tower again. Now that looks like Rich.
I think you're right.
Tuckahoe with a disabled RDC in tow. Orchid River. This is Barnegat. Bams River. Little telephoto action here. Pemberton Local in Merchantville. Uh-oh, who's that?
I don't
I
know,
warned
some
you, Don.
riffraff, I think.
Back on the Barnegat Branch. I guess you just have to trust that the track is there. There's Will Coxey again, and Crown Tower.
Can you go back to the one with Will second, Fred? Don, if I just wonder if you can talk through some of the diagram there.
Oh, yeah, I guess, of course, that is all the track around Brown Tower. The two tracks that curve right about center. Yeah, right in there. The one on the left is the Clement Branch Main. The other one was called the Industrial Track at that time. At one time, it was double track all the way to Winslow. And then going the other way, the one that goes up at the extreme right, that's the Clement Branch. And then you had two tracks to Woodbury to the extreme right. And then on the extreme left, drop down to single track to go around Patco to get into Pavonia. And then down below, right in there, that Y was built, I want to say probably about 65 or 66 when they abandoned from Broadway or through Broadway up there. They needed a way to get the stuff from Cooper's Point to Pavonia. And they built across what used to be Camden Yard and down through the belt line and then put that Y in so they could go to Pavonia. And then the original entrance into Bolson Street was the track to the right. Odd numbers say no, there are switches and whatnot. Even numbers are signals. And you'll see like there's three right there in the center, 20L. And somewhere to the left, you'll see a 20R. You have one signal lever. If you throw it to the right, it'll line a signal towards the right or the south. If you line it to the left, it'll be 20L. And the signal indication that'll come up is depending on the position of the switches. I don't know. What else do you want to?
Just what was the form for here? I guess on the, it looked like somebody had to sign off on it periodically.
Yeah, I think that was something that the maintainer maintained there on the. You mean that that thing in the frame?
Yeah.
I forget exactly what that was. Maybe Rich McGee can enlighten us on it, but I think that was something that the maintainer had to maintain on his maintenance records for the interlocking machine.
Okay, thank you.
There you are again, Don, but this time in Tuckahoe.
Uh-huh. Tuckahoe was easier to work than it was at Brown. Everything was color coded there. The white ones were out of service. The yellow ones were signals. Black were switches, and each switch had a lock attached to it. That's what the blue ones were. So If I was going to throw a switch, I'd take one of those blue levers and push it back in line with the other ones, and then pull a black lever out that would change the position of the switch, and then pull the blue lever back to lock it up again.
Barnegat? Back to Salem.
6022 was the biggest dog that the Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines had, and I loved it because it was the first engine that I ever rode in 1955 with my father between Camden and Pennsgrove.
Well, right now it's missing, at the time this picture was taken, looks like it's missing some parts over here.
Well, I would say the next destination from right here was the torch.
1970, I think you're
By
right.
70, it was out of service.
The new ones. Gloucester City. Still 3 tracks through there. That's interesting.
Well, that was really the south end of Brown Interlocking. I would say that Bill was probably almost standing right under the Walt Whitman Bridge when he took that photo.
Ah. Down to the sand pits, Newport. Morristown. Melville. We are in Lakehurst. That signal bridge, I guess, is still there. Well, at least it was the last time I was down there. No signals on it, but the bridge is there. Whiting. Coming and going.
It was interesting at Whiting's. The CNJ had signals to cross the Pennsylvania back road, but the Pennsylvania did not have any signals. They just had a stop sign.
Interesting. Pine Wall, New Jersey, obviously a sand pit. Toms River. Forked River. Doesn't look like this today, thank goodness. Archinville. Back to Cape May. out on a boat. Looks like it was a kind of a windy, rough day.
That's all gone now. That's all gone now, isn't it?
The only thing left is the water tower.
Did we see that in the other, that water tower?
That one.
Winchester and Western and Bridgeton. Westboro. Back to Carney's Point. Not much action down there anymore. Livonia. Hallsboro. Obviously, somebody was with Will Coxey this day. I see two shadows there. Barrington. Berlin. Like that smoky engine sort of detracted from the photos here. Down we go. So the old Manahawkin Station, now a residence. Back to Glassboro. Some of the usual suspects there.
Bromberger, McGee, and Long.
You got it. Lakewood Freight Station. Out on the Salem branch. This is all in the area that's been rebuilt. Swedesboro Station still there?
No, it isn't.
No, I mean it was at the time. I should have said the demise of the Barnegat branch. Tearing it out. Looks like they climbed up the signal bridge here.
That's Route 70.
It's Bank Tower in Red Bank.
John, was that where you were showing me where it was when we were there a couple weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Bob Long. There's a tower in the distance there.
Not sure, but I think that's Mrs. Coxey.
I think you had mentioned that to me once, yes.
And this was in the winter because there's no blades on that semaphore there on the right. They removed the blades when from the semaphore in the winter when the block station was out of service.
Okay, that's it until August.